Paris is the most visited city in the world. Its iconic landmarks, museums and cuisine attract people from across the globe. One of the most popular sites is the Sacré-Cœur Basilica. It sits atop Montmartre, famous for its artists, its windmills and its winding cobbled streets.
But it's also home to 25,000 people who find themselves fighting their way through crowds of tourists as they go about their daily lives. We spoke to Béatrice Duner, president of the Association for the Defence of Montmartre, which is struggling to get city officials to better balance the needs of residents while keeping tourists happy.
We try to defend Montmartre against lots of problems. About the cleanliness of the streets, about the safety of people living here. There are too many tourists. Well, it's as simple as that.
Now, you live in Montmartre?
Yes.
For how long?
50 years. So I've seen it change. People living here have changed. Modest people, modest incomes had to go. If you want children, you need very much money to live in Montmartre. There are not many young people able to live here because the rents are too expensive, too high. And families, when you have one or two children, you must be rather rich to come and live here. Now, that's what has changed, the population in a way. What has changed are the shops. This was La Rue des Abbesses was a street where you could buy absolutely everything from fruit to a frying pan. That has changed very much because many people have to go elsewhere just to do their shopping because what remains is very expensive here.
Are there any boulangeries left?
Yes, there are many. That's what works the best because they're all on Instagram, they're all on the social nets, so tourists go a lot, and the bread is really very good. It's expensive too, but it's very good. But there is a problem. Once they are posted on Instagram, there are queues, there are huge queues, people just wanting, to photograph the cakes or the breads, or the people buying the breads and the cakes, which they like very much to do. And it doesn't work for people living here.
French people can't afford to live here, you say. Are there many more vacation rentals? Is that part of the problem?
Well, it used to be, it's changing now because after a very long time the authorities have understood the problem, and now the big platforms like Airbnb and others, they have a ceiling, they have a top, they have limits. They're more limited now. And they are less, it's not possible nowadays to do what you did 8 or 9 years ago, where you just bought a one-room apartment and you used it as an investment. It was let to tourists the whole year long. This you can't do anymore. It's forbidden.
Has that freed up some apartments for people to live in long term?
Yes, I think, but not many. The real problem nowadays is the price. It's whole Paris is. I arrived 50 years ago. I arrived in Paris 54 years ago, I think. And it was very easy to find something which was absolutely reasonable to live in. Not a big apartment, but you could live in Paris. It wasn't a luxury. Nowadays, it's an absolute luxury.
The new mayor of Paris has promised he's going to be strict about rentals.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what exactly he might do, or what would you like him to do?
Let's hope for the best. Let's hope he really limits the price of a monthly rental. He limits the touristic rentals. But wait and see. What really would help is to put a limit to the rentals for shops, commercial rentals, because they're so expensive here. The problems started, I should say, with Amélie Poulain, the film about Montmartre, which had an international success. and people began to come here to see. There was a moment where the little shop which is behind me, no, it was a coffee, there where the bank is, here at the corner of the street, there was a coffee shop, no, a cafe, and he was tired of answering always the same question, so he put sort of arrows pointing everywhere. Sacré-Cœur, Émilie Poulain the coffee, Émilie Poulain the épicerie, Émilie Poulain this and that. Amélie, sorry, not Émilie. The Émilie is Emily in Paris, and that was also a big problem. It was the second phase of big arrivals of people who wanted to see where Émilie, where she drinks the coffee, where she buys her chocolate, whatever. Social media had a huge responsibility in all this. It's absurd. You can see people queuing for nothing just because they saw it somewhere on the social media.
If you were able to change something about over-tourism here in Montmartre, what would it be?
Oh, many things, but it requires a little of courage and political will on the part of the authorities, of the town authorities and the government authorities. They should increase the taxe de séjour, the tax you pay when you stay at a hotel or at a Airbnb, whatever. For any foreign person staying in Paris, they pay a tax which is very low, very, very low. So it would be much better to increase it, because people would hesitate in coming for a long time to Paris, and it would be only fair because we pay heavy taxes for the maintenance of this decor, of this panorama, of what you see here. That's paid with our money, our taxpayers' money. And things which would be easy for the mayor of the 18th arrondissement, it would be easy to maintain a strict control over guides who shout or who use a microphone, which is forbidden, to limit the number of persons in a group. They could do that easily, but there's no political will for the time being. So as an association, we are trying, and it's heavy work and long work, we're trying to convince them that if they empty completely this district, this ex-village which was called Montmartre, it will lose its principle, its main attraction. It will only be a postcard, absolutely empty of meaning. It's important to understand that and to work for a better understanding and a better balance between what people living on the spot need, which should be a priority really for people, for political decision makers, and what the tourists expect. And the problem is the money. The money is a big weight and it influences everything.
Is there someone in the town hall who deals specifically with tourism?
Yes, but only since the last election. We have been asking for it repeatedly all these last years, and this is a real small but positive sign that they hear us a little bit more than they used to.
Are you optimistic for the future?
Not very, but there's still some remains of hope. I really think tourism and the excess of tourism, the over-tourism, the sur-tourism, as you say in French, will be one of the big societal problems in the years to come. I think that's the problem. It's something which nobody really controls. It's too much easy money to make. But we go on.
Following elections in March, this district of Paris has a new mayor. Béatrice and the association have lined up meetings with local officials to present them with a long list of suggestions on how to ensure residents here still feel welcome in their own neighbourhood. Elaine Cobb reporting from Paris in Montmartre.